It's time for the 2015 TIki and Tierney NFL Training Camp Two-A-Days as we visit all 32 NFL camps to preview the upcoming season. Oakland Raiders, 3-13. Last in the AFC West.
Offset out of the left. Counter handoff to Murray. Coming back right. Big hole. 15, 20, may go 30, 40. Midfield. 40 of the Chiefs. They're not going to catch him. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! Raiders!
For the 12th consecutive season, the Silver and Black did not finish with a winning record. And despite some young talent, many feel this will be the 13th straight non-winning season. Second-year QB Derek Carr hopes the additions of wideouts Michael Crabtree, rookie Amari Cooper, and a stable of talented running backs can improve an offense that finished dead last in the league in yards and 31st in points per game.
Carr is a special young talent. He's got a really quick release. He's a good decision maker. You know, he's shown some of that grit that we're looking for, some of that toughness, you know, and so he's a guy that we feel like we have an opportunity to build around.
Can the Raiders give the Black Holes something to cheer about, or will they leave the Bay Area disappointed and move down the coast to Los Angeles?
All right, lots of questions. Hopefully some more answers this year for Raider fans. They're waiting. It's been a while. How about the call, too? Greg Papa. Touchdown, Raiders. And the man in the booth with them every Sunday, he is Tom Flores, who's got a great resume. A couple of Super Bowls, long run with the Raiders encompassing both Oakland and L.A. The great Tom Flores with us here on CBS Sports Radio on TIki and Tierney. Coach, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm just sitting here in my room having some coffee and read the paper, getting ready to get on the charter and head for Minnesota this afternoon.
Hey, I'm kind of jealous. I mean, coffee, hotel, charter, paper, living a good life. Huh, Tom? Nice.
Hey, life is good. Listen, I paid my dues, so it's time. But the only thing is, I'm dying here in this booth with the Raiders for the last few years. We got to start winning.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, but Coach, that's got to end soon, right? At least it seems like it's going to end soon with all the talent, this young talent on this squad. Is this the year that it happens?
Well, I'm thinking this is the year that you see the improvement. This is the first time in a long time that I felt good about the season. How many games they win, I know, no one knows that, but they have to stay healthy because, as you guys mentioned, somebody mentioned, there's not a lot of depth in some positions, and they're very young in so many positions. They have to grow up. They have to learn how to win, and Jack Del Rio has really changed the mood in this training camp.
Yeah, coaching means so much, but one of the things that they did lose was Coach Olsen, who was their offensive coordinator. He's gone on. Is that going to affect Derek Carr at all? Has the offense changed because he's not there anymore?
Well, I don't think everybody tries to do some of the same things. It's just the terminology changes, maybe the philosophy changes a little bit, because when you have a young team, sometimes you're very guarded in your approach to what you do. You want to do more, but you can't because of the youth and maybe in some cases the lack of talent. Greg did a good job, I thought, last year bringing Derek Carr along, and I think it's going to work out all right, though. But Derek Carr is a unique guy. He loves the game. He's a student of the game. He's very serious about it. He's very mature. In fact, last year, as a rookie, he was too mature. He was trying to do, I thought, a little too much.
Let's stick with Carr for a second here, Coach. The national narrative, and you just touched on some of the intangibles, which obviously are paramount for any winning quarterback when the game slows down for him. Are you as convinced as most people around the country that kind of parachute around from team to team with thoughts that Derek Carr is the absolute real deal from a physical point of view?
Yeah, from a physical, he's got everything. He's got, I'd like to have maybe another 2 inches, but he's tall enough. He's 6'2" plus, I think. But he's got great feet, vision, excellent speed and quickness to get avoid defenders. And the one thing that he has is an incredible work ethic. I mean, he spends a lot of time with football, and then the rest of the time he spends with his family. It's not a bad combination.
Yeah, you don't think you're going to really read his name in the on the wrong part of the newspaper anytime soon. He seems to have his head on straight, no question. That's the
Well,
great.
I'll tell you, last year he had a big game, and they asked him, "What'd you do after the game?" He said, "I went and got a burger."
That's what you want. That's what you want your quarterback to say, right, Coach?
Yeah. He took his family. They went and got a hamburger and a milkshake.
Yeah, you can mix in a beer. I mean, after a win, nothing wrong with that.
Well,
but,
I don't know. I don't know that beer's in his vocabulary.
I hear you. It's Tom Flores. You know, Tom, on a different matter here, and I keep up with the Chronicle and a lot of the reports out of the Bay Area, specifically the East Bay, and the issues for the A's and the stadium issues. You have a unique perspective because you were there from 79 to 87, and your tenure, not only the two championships, but more specifically, it encompassed two completely different parts of the state of California. I know Oakland is pretty broke. I know it is a city that is just really spiraling out of control, sadly. Are the Raiders going to stay there? Because every sign points to them leaving. What do you think happens when it's all said and done?
Well, every day my feelings change a little bit more towards leaving because I don't hear anything coming out of the Oakland area, the Oakland city or the county. I've seen renderings of a new stadium proposal by the city of San Diego. I see two renderings of two stadiums in Los Angeles. I have seen nothing or heard of nothing in Oakland. Of course, I'm not privy to anything that might go on behind doors, but still, it's unfortunate because there's not a lot of corporate money in Oakland. They're struggling on other measures for the city and the people of Oakland. But in my opinion, the Raiders belong in Oakland. And that's where it started. That's where I started when they started in 1960. God, I'm an old guy. I just realized that. Anyway, when we were playing in San Francisco and waiting for our stadium to be built, but now, so many years later, the worst two stadiums are San Diego first and Oakland.
Yeah.
San Diego's the worst stadium, and Oakland's the second worst stadium as voted. I think it's a tie, to be honest.
Yeah, but you coached when they were in L.A., obviously. So what was that experience like? Obviously, L.A.'s a lot different now than it was back in the 80s, but is L.A. the destination if they can't stay in Oakland because of the money?
I think so. I think that's the only option they really have. I mean, any other city would they still wouldn't be a good option for them. They still have a tremendous amount of fans in Los Angeles, and we gained fans when we went to L.A. and a lot of the Oakland fans went down there for games, and then now we have when they came back, a lot of the L.A. fans came up here for games. So it's still Raider country in so many ways. It's just at some point we've got to end all this all this drama and get on with it and live our lives and you got to build a team. We were able to win the Super Bowl in Oakland when we were in the process of possibly moving. My second year as head coach, and then we went down to L.A. and won one 3 years later in L.A. for them. So that was a pretty unique thing. I lived in a hotel for 18 months,
wow. Yeah.
not knowing whether we were going to stay or go.
And really, Tom, not to mention the unique training backdrop. Teak, do you know that they actually train in Napa?
Yeah, of course.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful up there.
It's phenomenal. I've been out there to watch the camp. Tom, do you think, given what the Niners have done, where they really stripped down the roster and the staff, I think most people who follow the sport expect a serious dive from the Niners. And I think most people expect incremental progress from the Raiders, which we've touched on during this interview. Is there an opportunity for the Raider fan to maybe, I don't want to say seize back a part of the state, but let's face it, the Niners have had it on lockdown for a couple of years now. I feel like things are going in the completely different direction, and we haven't seen that in a while. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I think I have to agree with it. Of course, I'm a little biased, but still, the Niners, and I watched them closely because, Jim Harbaugh was a friend. He coached with the Raiders for a short time.
Yeah, his first job.
Yeah.
This is for quarterback's coach, right? First job.
Yeah, he's a quarterback coach, and I remember talking to him right before he was ready. He was thinking of taking that job at the University of San Diego. He did one of my opinion on it, and he's done a marvelous job. All he did was win there, but there was some internal problems, and they seem to be imploding every day. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to that franchise right now, and the Raiders seem to be improving every day.
That is Tom Flores, two-time Super Bowl winning coach and part of the broadcast crew with Mr. Papa, who's very good. He's with us here on TIki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio.
Coach, I wonder if you ever think about the Hall of Fame for yourself. Two-time Super Bowl winner. You won another as an assistant. You won one as a player. You're the first minority head coach to win a Super Bowl. Has that ever crossed your mind?
All the time. All the time. I was there this year, watching, Timmy Brown go in, Ron Wolf, a good friend of mine, has spent many, many years with the Raiders, Bill Polian, who I was in the competition committee with, and the great Junior Seau, it was fun to be there. But I also have to admit, in all honesty, that it's also a little jealousy there that I can't be with those guys and have that gold coat. But I'm still hoping, maybe someday, before I check out.
Yeah, listen, that's an honest answer. I'd be a little jealous. I understand it. What about Kenny Stabler? He's before our time. We've seen all the highlights. We know what he meant to the game, just a renegade style. He's on the senior committee finalist, finally, for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Is he going to get in?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think he finally will get in. I don't see why he's not in now. I mean, you talk about, royalty. Just look at what he did during the 70s. I mean, he was about as good as anybody during the 70s. And in the playoffs and in big games, crazy things happened when he was in the game. He was just, and plus he was a wonderful guy. He was a fun guy to be around. And I always told people if he played on the East Coast, he'd been in 20 years ago.
Oh, look at him taking a little shot at the East Coast. You're not going gangster on us here, Tommy, are you?
No, I'm not going gangster. No, don't hold out against me.
Not at all, man. It's a pleasure to chat with you. Enjoy the coffee. Have a safe flight out to Minnesota. And enjoy what should be a much better season. Thank you, Coach.